welcome back to day 3 of my 31 days of Halloween. What was that? It's day 4. Yes. Sorry about that, folks. Slight editing cocker. Hi beautiful weirdo, Charlotte here and welcome back to Pretty Scary, and today it's another one of my 31 days of Halloween. Today I am doing the zombie glitter queen. Today I am doing the zombie glitter queen, which was a look I did for a competition on Instagram, and it was a look that got a lot of love on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and it got a lot of requests for a tutorial. And yes, she is an evil zombie queen. She has spikes on her head, she's covered in glitter, and each speck of glitter is a poor unfortunate soul that she has captured on her spikes and is keeping forever because she's evil. Don't forget, as always, you will see Edward, my misshapen bear, somewhere in the shot in a Halloween costume. Comment down below if you spotted Edward and what he's wearing today. It's a very cryptic one today. Well, not very cryptic, but slightly cryptic. I will give you a clue because it's a bit more difficult, and that clue is American comedy cartoon series. Very famous. So, and without much further ado, I'm going to stick on some horror stories and I'm going to make a start. First, we make spikes. Take a live cast if you have one, if not a flat surface will do. Roll out a sausage of blue tack, stick it onto the head and flatten it out, and then break up some cocktail sticks into different lengths and stick them right in that blue tack. Once you've got them looking how you want them to look, it's time to add some latex. Take a cotton bud and the liquid latex and just kind of dab it in between those spikes. It will just fill up the gaps and secure those spikes in place once you take the piece off the cast or the flat surface. Make sure you make the edges a little bit thinner so that it blends into the skin when you stick the piece down, and use a hairdryer to speed up the process. Now you just want to paint it black. Mix some black acrylic paint with either PVA glue or some Prosaide glue just to make it a little bit more flexible so it doesn't crack when you take the piece off, and paint the whole thing including the spikes. Then add some PVA glue on top of those spikes once it's all dry, on the spikes and on the base in fact, because you are going to glitter it up with all those lost souls. I'm using a cosmetic glitter, but you can have whatever black glitter you happen to have to hand. And then take some Johnson's baby powder, find an edge, lift up that piece from your flat surface or your cast, and just make sure that you brush that baby powder all over those edges because latex has a horrible habit of sticking to itself. So just be patient, peel and dust, peel and dust. Now you'll want to dust all that talc off. You may need to use a little bit of water on a sponge applicator just to really get the dust off there. And then moving on to the face. Taking a light brown shadow, I'm just building up a very smoky eye, starting right at the inner corners and going into the socket line with that lighter transition colour. You don't need to be too neat and precise with this, you are a zombie queen after all. And just blend that out, because even zombie queens need to blend. Just using a very fluffy brush for this. And then taking Print by MAC, which is a deep smoky grey, and just deepening up that area that I've just put the light transition shadow down on. So just in the socket line, right into the inner corners of the eye, winging it out slightly at the edges and then under the eye too. I'm using quite a fluffy brush to apply this, and then using a fluffier brush still to blend it out. And then taking Aria by MAC, which is that lighter shade that I used first of all, and using this to contour the face. So you don't want these contours to look realistic. You will see later how this all slots into place. So just contour those cheekbones, blend with your fingers and with brushes. Apologies that my camera keeps going out of focus, I'm not quite sure why that was happening. I had a lot of technical difficulties with this one, folks, please bear with me. And then contouring around the sides of the nose with that same colour. And also along the jawline. Just anywhere you would normally contour basically. Along the sides of the nose. Underneath the tip of the nose. And then taking Nehru, I think that's how it's pronounced, by MAC, which is a really deep smoky grey. And again, deepening those shadows even more. Just going on the inner part of the eye and the outer part, and then kind of blending that into the centre for a kind of a halo effect. Taking a little stiff brush and a brun, I assume it's pronounced that way, by MAC, and just filling in those brows. You just want quite a strong brow for this look to counteract all the dark zombiness around it. And then just taking that piece, working out where I want it, and then just putting some Prosaide on. You can also use spirit gum if that is what you have, or even eyelash glue. So I'm just applying Prosaide to the back of the piece and along the edges, waiting for it to dry and go clear, and then sticking it down. Just patting down those edges and then going over with a little bit of extra Prosaide just to make sure they're all glued down. And then taking some black Snazaroo water-based face paint and a synthetic sponge, and just blotting that around that piece just to blend the piece into the skin. And then taking a small brush and starting with the collar piece. So just doing very kind of rough lines up and down the neck and around the sides of the face, and also down the side of that centerpiece. And then creating a black tear, because this zombie queen is sad that she's not quite picking up enough souls. Just want to add a lot of water there to create that tear. And then taking one of those deep smoky grey shades again and smoking out the under eye more, and smoking out also those shadows that we've created around the nose and the chin area, just deepening those up. Taking Nehru again, which again is that dark smoky grey, and just smoking out the edges of those lines we created around the face, and also painting in the ears so they don't look completely pink and out of place. Now you want to take that black face paint down onto your chest, and then connect the neck and the chest piece with more of those lovely lines. Just keep having a play with those lines until you're happy, and then take some black liquid liner and line those zombie queen eyes. Can't have a look without black liquid eyeliner, it's the law. A bit of mascara, because, you know. Some false lashes. I've used some quite dramatic ones, just a cheap set off eBay. And now it's time for some zombie veins. So taking some alcohol paint and some isopropyl 99% alcohol and a fine artist brush, and then I'm just painting those zombie veins on, using a mixture of a deep red and a blue to create a purpley tone. You can use water-based paints if you don't have alcohol paints. Just use a very light hand so you get nice fine lines, and make sure they don't look too uniform. You want them to look quite organic. And then going over with those smoky greys that we used before, I'm just creating a little bit of a cruel smile at the edges of her mouth, and then just adding some smoky patches around the face, just so I don't look too clean and pretty. Smoking out that tear too. It's all about the smoke. And then taking Sketch, which is a deep maroon colour by MAC, just to add a little bit of colour, because I felt that the blacks and the smoky greys just weren't cutting it on their own and we needed a little bit of something extra. And then lining the lips with a nice red lip liner, because the zombie queen's got to have her lippy on. And then taking Cherry Skies by NYX, which is a lovely deep wine red colour. I'm now taking Oil Slick by Urban Decay, which is a nice sparkly black, and just adding that onto areas of the face just to add a little bit of extra sparkle. And then using that same colour to create an ombre effect on the lips, just basically shading in the corners of the lips with that nice black sparkly shadow. And then taking a black kohl liner just to increase that ombre effect. And then that lovely black glitter that we used for our spikes. Taking some Elizabeth Arden 8 Hour Cream, but you can use Vaseline or lip balm even if you don't have that. Applying it to all the areas where I want the glitter to stick. And then basically patting the glitter over the top of those areas, and it will glue very nicely to the face. And for final touch, I'm just messing up the hair a bit because, well, you wouldn't be that tidy, would you? And there we go.
Right, beauties, this is the finished look. I hope you like it. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a big thumbs up. And if you spotted Edward and you have worked out what he was wearing, then please comment down below. It's a difficult one today, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone is clever enough to get it. Right, so I shall see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you all. Bye-bye.